Hi, thanks for tuning in to Medicine Crow Tarot for this month's relationship energy check-in. This is a brand new channel, so I really appreciate all the views. This is a general reading for Sun, Moon, and Rising, so keep in mind that the energies won't be able to resonate with everyone. Most likely some of the energies will resonate and some of them won't, which is normal for a general reading. Just remember not to force the messages to fit your situation. Feel free to watch your other astrological aspects as well as your sun sign if this reading doesn't fit your situation. Cross watchers are also invited to watch, but do keep in mind that the energies can flip either way between you and your significant other. Also, just as a heads up, tarot is a useful tool to help us work with our energies, but your best tool is always going to be your own intuition. So never let a reading take the place of what you sense from your higher self. Also bear in mind that fear and confusion are never part of the messaging from your higher self. Instead, it's always going to be calm clarity and a sense of deep knowing. So, with that in mind, let's get started with your reading. And remember that if you find it helpful, give me a like, share, or subscribe. And also feel free to leave me a comment. Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to your November mid-month reading about relationship energy. Medicine Crow Tarot. Let's start by looking at your overall energy in regards to your significant other, romantically speaking. Okay, that's what we got going in Scorpio. Overall energy. So your overall energy at the moment is the Six of Pentacles. It's an energy of manifesting balance in the relationship. It could be expecting it because you're not getting it, or it could be that you're feeling like you're able to contribute in that way at this moment. Okay, because this is your overall energy. Let's look at the overall energy of your partner. Okay. Okay. Another six. This is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups has to do with childhood energies, innocence, and also reconciliation type of stuff. So it looks like the general state seems to be pretty good. You're coming from a balanced perspective, and they may be in a healing mode, but they're also trying to balance in the relationship. Let's look a little deeper. Let's see what your headspace is right now, Scorpio. Okay. Well, we have a couple of different cups. In this we have the Eight of Cups, and we have the King of Wands. So your headspace is, I feel like you're feeling like you're in a good space right now relationship-wise, but coming from something that's been difficult. So you haven't been in this state for a long time. It's definitely something you're interested in moving forward in how you experience relationship. The King of Wands is a mature energy. It's very passionate, driven, just, reliable, inspiring kind of energy. And that's what you're kind of aiming for in how you contribute to a relationship. And I think you're aware of that. You're aware of the need for that in the relationship. Let's have a look at their headspace. We have the Hierophant, sometimes called the Pope. Historically, this card came through the structure of things, religious structure as well. This has come to mean and be associated with the energy of tradition and of doing things in the regular prescribed way. Sometimes in relationship readings, it means like marriage or something like that, because that's the traditional way of expressing your love for someone else as you get married. So let's look at the heart space. Let's look at your heart space. Okay. It's too big. Okay. I was just making space for this one. This is the Hanged Man. This is a period of voluntary pause while you adjust your perspective, okay? And I feel like you have this awareness right now of wanting to have a meaningful connection, a meaningful relationship that you feel like you're contributing healthily to the relationship in a way that you haven't done yet, a new and improved version of yourself. And I feel like your heart is just saying, let me take a moment to register what this looks like. What does this mean? How do I envision this? It's kind of like that type of pause. And your partner, they have two different energies. The High Priestess is a deeply feminine vibration. The Eight of Wands, which is a very, I don't want to say mercurial, but there's a lot of movement and business going on there. So let's see here. First of all, I just have to say it. This looks like she's in a wedding dress. So I feel like what's happening here is, I feel like your partner senses a lot of good things happening and is thinking about it. I don't know if you've talked about it or not talked about it, but the relationship for them leads to marriage. That's the way they think. And in their heart space, they're trying to figure out maybe a timeline. Like, I feel like they want to know if this is what they want with you, and if it is it what you want with them, and is that what it means to level up in a relationship? I feel like they're trying to dial into that on a deeper level. I feel like they might want to talk about it. They may not have talked about it with you yet, or maybe they have, but if they have talked about it, they're very impatient. about seeing something happen. If they haven't talked about it, they want to, or they're trying to decide if that's what they want. So this is actually pretty cool. And I feel like maybe you're dialed into that energy too, like you're aware of them. Their energy is leaning that way, and you're trying to figure out if that's also your, like, do you have the same goals at this point in terms of that? You're for sure both interested in leveling up. It's just, does that mean you have to get married, or what? What does that mean? And they're like, yes, I feel like it means, they think it means they have to get married. Okay. The overall energy of the relationship then is the Hermit energy, which isn't exactly the energy you want to see in a relationship, but at the same time, the Hermit is where you are trying to dial into and process the truth of the energy that you are in, that you find yourself in. And so in this situation, Scorpio, you're realizing that to level up, you have to be willing to be more mature, to grow into the new energy, and that requires a pause. It requires some deep processing. And so it might be that the two of you right now are actually taking steps to give each other space and to use that space for yourself to process where you're at in the relationship and what it looks like going forward, because you're both interested in going forward. It's just that you don't know what that looks like, and I feel like they very much want it to look like what they've always imagined it to look like, traditionally speaking, getting officially attached. Even if that's not it, they want to see some form of a level of commitment that makes more sense to them outwardly. So whether that means just moving in together because you don't even live together yet, or something like that, they're looking for something that they can measure that says, look, we have leveled up, right? They're looking for that type of movement. Okay, so it looks like you're both going to be taking some space to try to decide how that works. And it might be your decision to do that because you're the one who has the Hanged Man in your heart position. And they might be a little impatient, so be kind and try not to dilly-dally and waste time. Like, really put your intention into it. Don't rush, but definitely put your intention into it. Put the energy into it that a successful relationship deserves. Let's see if there's anything you're not looking at, anything you're missing, something that, a perspective maybe that might help, especially with the Hanged Man right there. Okay. It's this card. Okay, this is the Angel of Self-Worth. You are currently undervaluing yourself. It is time to regain your self-worth. So, hopefully that hasn't triggered you to feeling judged, judged poorly. What this is actually saying is, I feel like you need to connect with that value that you bring currently. Because this Eight of Cups suggests that you're coming from a poor experience. Not poor, but something that wasn't as, I don't know, as pleasant as where you are now, or as where you're trying to get. And in order to get to the place that you're valuing, you have to value yourself on that level. which I don't think you've thought about enough, or maybe you're acutely aware of it and you just haven't necessarily arranged it yet. Whatever it is, I feel like that's the new perspective that you really need, which the Hangman is about, getting a new perspective. Change how you look at your self-worth. Change the story that you tell about yourself. And the way to do that is to connect to your higher self. If you're believing in God, it's the connection to God that, not through religion, and I don't mean that negatively, I just mean connect to God in a way that is not judgmental, it's loving, so that you love yourself objectively. Like you just love yourself no matter what it is. You're not judging yourself for being imperfect, or your weaknesses, or your faults, or even like with this idea of equality. That's so important in a relationship, but only if you come from an abundant position. If you come from a position of lack, where you're needing to love yourself more, you can be trying to maintain your end of it just so that you feel like they will value you enough. Okay? So the advice here, the perspective that you are going to want to focus on going forward as you meditate and try to figure out how you want the relationship to look in the future, it's going to be greatly guided by how you view your own self and the extent at which you are able to love your own self. Okay, Scorpio? So, and even here you can see that the star on the upper hedge looks like an angel sprouting wings. It's like all sorts of symbolic imagery happening here for you to connect to that loving energy that you have for yourself that maybe you just haven't realized yet. Okay? So, Scorpio, I guess that's it. It looks like you're in a really good position. Good luck working on that relationship with yourself, because that will usher in the movement that you seek, and knowing how you want your relationship to work. And I think that by loving yourself in a greater abundance, your partner will also be satisfied with the way you choose to express your love together. Okay, so that's November mid-month relationship reading for you, Scorpio. If you found it helpful, then give me a like, make a comment if you feel like it. I invite you to subscribe to my channel as well. Share the video if you need to with your significant other if you think that will help. Other than that, I just hope to see you next time on Medicine Crow Tarot. Thanks, Scorpio.